How do you actually pick the right law school personal statement topic? Most applicants think it's about choosing the right story, something dramatic, something interesting to capture the admissions officer's attention. But it's not. What really matters is how you shape, how you frame your experiences in your law school personal statement. Hey, I'm Mara Freilich. I'm the top rated law school admissions consultant in the country, and I'm going to share with you how I help my clients pick the right law school personal statement for them and how you can do it for yourself too. But first, let's talk about what admissions committees are actually looking for in your law school personal statement. Your law school personal statement is not about proving that you are impressive. Law schools already have that from your resume, your LSAT score, your letters of rec. Instead, it's answering a few questions: how you think, why you're going to law school, why now, and showing them who you are going to be in their law school and in the legal profession. They want to see in your personal statement that you are someone who is mature, that authentic, that you can reflect from your experiences and draw deeper insights. And they want to see that your path to law feels credible and authentic, not random or performative or some law school cliche like, I've always argued and I want to be a lawyer to do that. Or, I've wanted to be a lawyer since I was 5 years old because I love to debate. Those are cliches. They don't want to see that. At top law schools, especially, your personal statement can be the difference between you getting rejected or you getting accepted. Okay, now let's talk about how to actually write your law school personal statement. But before you get into any drafting or any writing, you need to start with this: brainstorming. And this is the part that most applicants skip, but it is the most important part. And let me tell you why. First, strategy matters more than anything when you're figuring out the right law school personal statement topic to write about. Because it isn't just one topic that matters, it's the angle with how you share your experiences. So you need to step back and take a holistic view of your experiences and your insights and figure out what really shaped you and your path to law. What perspectives have you drawn from your experiences that relate again to your path to law? It all needs to connect back to law. What patterns keep showing up in your life and why does law genuinely make sense for you? And second, the difference between a standout, memorable personal statement and one that is good but kind of forgettable are details. And if you don't mind that first through brainstorming, it's really easy to write a personal statement that's quite conclusory and kind of general. Vivid personal details that only you can have is what will make your personal statement stand out and be unique to you. Finally, brainstorming lets you preserve and get out your unique and idiosyncratic writing voice. This is more important now than ever with how much AI is being used to write these essays. It will help you stand out, reflect authenticity, and not sound like every other essay being submitted. So I always have my clients write in their casual speaking voice when doing their brainstorm, knowing of course we're going to polish it later, but it lets us understand who they are when they write. How can we preserve that authenticity? It just lets you connect with your reader on a much deeper, more intimate level. So really don't skip this. Okay, but when you brainstorm, this isn't just a random free write. You want to have a more curated, targeted brainstorm. So I'm going to share with you the different categories that I use with my clients to pull out the right experiences and the right material for a strong law school personal statement. Category 1, your origins. So these are questions about what have shaped you. Where did your interest maybe spark from? What initially drew your interest to law? Who or where did all of this come from? Who or what influenced you? Understanding your origins will help you come up with some of your deepest motivations for going to law school. It's not always the most recent experiences that are the most relevant. Oftentimes we find that there is this common thread that's maybe been running throughout years, maybe from even the beginning of your life, that has really shaped your path to law. Not every law school personal statement needs to delve into your origin story, but oftentimes your origin story starts much earlier than you expect. And your origins can reveal what you've been drawn to for years. Maybe it's fairness, advocacy, translating across complex systems. This can also let you fit in a lot of different experiences under a more singular umbrella or theme, because it's always been part of your origin story. Category 2 is about your academic and professional experiences. So you'll want to ask yourself questions like, what academic, what professional experiences, internships count, have really shaped my path towards law? Law schools want applicants whose decision to go to law school has been tested by real experience. So this is where credibility really comes in. So diving in not just into what you did in these academic or professional experiences, but the insights that you gained out of these experiences and how that connects to your reason to go to law school, that is really critical to having a standout law school personal statement, especially now when law schools are really favoring applicants that reflect professional maturity. Having this kind of material in your law school personal statement is pretty important. Category 3 is delving into problems you care about. So these will be questions like, what do you care about? What feels broken? What feels inefficient to you? Where do you feel yourself hitting a ceiling? Strong personal statement topics usually center around some tension, but it doesn't have to be dramatic. So when you can delve into problems you see, again, even if they're not super dramatic, it just gives your essay a little more emotional resonance and brings the reader on a more insightful analytical journey. This category helps build a real why law instead of just a generic one, because it's rooted in your real experiences and real insights from those experiences. Category 4 is traits through stories. So these kind of questions will be, what moments really shaped and reflect who you are, that show your perseverance, that show your values, that show your impressive character traits? So it's like, who are you under pressure? Who are you in conflict? Who are you in interpersonal exchanges? How do you show up across disagreement? Questions like that. Because the best law school personal statement topics are not just sharing what happened, they're also revealing character. Ultimately, law schools are still admitting people, and they're trying to build a holistic class. So they care about not just what you've done, but also who you are. Growth and challenges you faced. So questions are, what are you proud of? What has challenged you the most? What are some obstacles you've had to overcome and how? A compelling law school personal statement often shows self-evolution. So this is why this category is important. Now that you're done brainstorming, the most important part of your brainstorming actually comes in. It's reflecting and analyzing your brainstorm material. I like to call your brainstorm to my clients like the universe of you, because it lets you zoom out from your experiences and identify patterns, identify values that maybe were scattered throughout different experiences. This zoomed out perspective lets you understand why law is the logical next step for you, or at least how you can shape a narrative from your experiences that reflects in your law school personal statement that law is the logical, inevitable next step for you. So the first thing you want to do is organize your brainstorm. Make a list of your most impressive or interesting personal experience. Make a list of your most impressive or interesting academic and professional experiences. Then make a list of your strongest traits that keep showing up, and then any recurring frustrations or limitations you were feeling. And then finally, make a list of any recurring motivations you saw. Now that you have that all sorted, ask yourself, what keeps showing up? And again, asking yourself, given what I've seen, given how I operate, given the perspectives I have, why is law the logical next step for me? That is the focus of your law school personal statement. What you're doing is essentially identifying the thesis for why you're going to law school. This lets you then organize your experiences into a cohesive narrative. So that question I said before, what keeps showing up? That is your thesis. So maybe it's about translating between worlds. Maybe it's about seeing a gap between empathy and results. Maybe it's something as simple as being the calm in conflict or chaos. Maybe it's something about noticing identity formation across different spaces or ensuring accountability when systems fail. Whatever it is, it should be answering why law is the inevitable next step for you. Okay, in summary, you're going to gather your raw material, that's your brainstorm. Then you're going to analyze it, identifying a thesis. And then you're going to be building an essay that reveals your mind, not just resume. Let me share with you some law school personal statement topics from actual clients that worked. Seeing systems repeatedly fail up close. This was a client who was working in under-resourced schools. She also worked with immigrants. She saw repeatedly that systems would often fail when individual stories were not taken into account. Why this works? It shows maturity. It allows her to show how she thinks about her experiences. It shows she can think about people beyond just herself. And it's a very clear why law. She's coming in to fill in the gap as a lawyer and make sure that individual stories are going to be heard. Another topic was a translator between worlds. So this client was an engineer, and this was where origins came in. He was a translator for his family growing up. It was an immigrant family. And then he was a translator across teams, across technical and non-technical teams. And he eventually wanted to go into patent negotiations and patent litigation as well, where that translations between legal and non-legal, legal and technical is critical. And so this allowed him to show professional maturity, to show that he also had self-awareness and self-maturity, and then also signals that he has empathy and real practical skills that he will bring to law. A common law school personal statement topic that works really well is confronting the limits of your current field or academic path. So maybe it's an engineer who sees legal barriers stilling innovation, or a finance worker drawn to regulatory questions, or a teacher who saw that her impact was too small and needed a broader scale tool. It clearly answers why law now, and it also makes the why law credible and clear. Another common broad umbrella topic is pattern recognition. So this is someone who became focused on a recurring injustice or a recurring problem and really devoted a lot of their experiences to it. Or maybe this is an applicant who researched and uncovered through that research a deeper issue where law can come in and solve it. Or another applicant who noticed hidden rules were really shaping outcomes for people. These are strong topics because they show your analytical mindset and a strong legal thinker. Another common law school personal statement topic that works really well for public interest-minded applicants is community service turning into structural awareness. So maybe it's a mentorship, revealing institutional gaps, it's community service, identifying broader policy gaps. So the common thread running through all of these law school personal statement topics that work is they're not just sharing experiences, they are revealing something deeper about you. They're revealing how you think, what problems you care about, what changed you, and ultimately why law is the logical next step for you. Topics that underperform unless exceptional are sports stories, where it's just about your struggle with sports or even just your achievement with sports, focusing only on debate, or mock trial, relying on drama or trauma without real deeper insights from those experiences, resume recap essays, or the essays that I've always wanted to be a lawyer since I was 5 years old, or even going on a service mission trip, again without real insight. Given that, let's talk about law school personal statement don'ts. Don't rewrite your resume. Don't force trauma or drama. Don't be generic about justice or wanting to help people. Be specific based on your experiences. Don't make your why law feel random or performative. Don't sound like a cover letter. Don't overperform or overstate morality. Admissions officers can always tell when someone is just trying to sound noble instead of being authentic. Don't have all narrative without any insights. And then on the flip side, don't have all conclusory insights without any details or narrative. Don't try to sound like a lawyer. Don't use overly verbose language. Don't use court language. Sound like your authentic self. And finally, don't submit an essay that could belong to anyone else. The biggest risk is not imperfection, it's sameness. Your essay should feel specifically yours. Want more help writing your law school personal statement? Check out my free guide that I'll link in the comments.